Coming at you live tonight, Goosebumps for Dummies is back at it again with another very important opinion on the show, but is also very important, at least to him. Very important. Have a way, Goosebumps for Dummies. Oh, thank you. Oh, I can't wait to be on my channel again. Talking about Goosebumps Vanishing. And let me tell you, it's aight. This is coming from a Goosebumps fan, by the way. This review, if you're not aware, I am a big Goosebumps fan. So this is coming from a Goosebumps fan, this review that you're seeing, in case you're unfamiliar with my channel. Goosebumps Vanishing is aight, and it's better than Season 1. That's all y'all needed to know. But let's get into detail. We're gonna go into the nitty-gritty, all the cooks and crannies and crevices and every sinew, every inch of this motherfucker, right? Let's talk about this show's score and all the things I disliked and liked overall about the show. Starting off with the positives. CGI. CGI is pretty darn good. There's some moments where it's questionable, especially with the intro to the show. I mean the literal intro to the entire show. There's questionable CGI of Skull. And the actual intro with title card of Goosebumps looks like shit. The lighting there is horrible. I'm not gonna lie, it's really bad lighting. But everything else looks really good. I can't complain even about the eyeball thing that everybody's complaining about, which looks good. Fuck off. Acting is good. Nothing to be said there. It's literally just good acting, I think. Sam McCarthy, who plays Devin, he has some weaker acting at the start of the season, but overall, he does a great job later, and everybody else does a great job throughout the entire show. So yeah, some characters here are really likable. I really like Trey towards the end of the show. Alex, hot takes already. CJ, agreeably so. And of course, Anthony Brewer, Dr. Brewer, whatever you want to refer to him as, really good. There's some great camera work and directing here, especially in episode 6, if you know what I mean. And this show actually feeds my alien kink. Pause. Sounds weird. Sounds like a fetish thing, but I mean my ruthlessly undying addiction for alien horror and Goosebumps. I'm sorry if you heard background noise. I don't know what I'm doing with my shooting. I ruthlessly fiend for alien horror and winter horror and mirror horror, but specifically alien horror overall. And well done here. Does it feature an alien that looks like a foreign entity, not from our Earth, that brings a lot of intrigue and interesting ideas with it, as well as just being a generally really spooky alien that is, well, pretty darn cool to look at, and is also, did I mention an alien? And an alien? Whew! Yeah. Bingo. You got it. Check. But does it feed it well? It feeds it fine. It's not well done. It's medium rare. You know, I like my steak well done, not medium rare. But nonetheless, aliens. Me love aliens. Me happy. Me fiends. Me fed. So yeah, sci-fi fan approved. So yeah, what are the adaptations? Oh, specifically the good ones I'll mention right now. On the car. Yeah, I'm shocked. I didn't think this one was gonna be super good or interesting, and let alone, it's not a very interesting concept. It's car that is evil. And it was actually one of my favorite episodes. Yeah, hot take, because I've heard people didn't really like this one, but I really did. Even if it didn't mean much to the overall story, it's a fun time, and a really fun time. Unlike Cece's episode where she's a fucking terrible character. We'll get to that later. But yeah, Haunted Car, really good. A really good adaptation. I really like Girl Cried Monster in some regards. Even if it's not very accurate, it's like, did you expect that? Not really. Ghost Next Door in some regards as well? Slightly? Camp Nightmare was fine, even though it's very in name, which kind of pisses me off. And, Monster Blood. It's good. And also Set of the Basement's like, I mean, there's not a lot of it. It's just an overall theme of the season, but it's aight. Like I said, Monster Blood, though. It's fine, but the episode itself it's in is bad. But yeah, overall, some solid adaptations going on here. Even if a few of them are very in name, like Camp Nightmare and Ghost Next Door. It's not next door, but yeah. Moving on. The show's got good acting, good CGI, and a lot of great things going for it. And I think one of its other strong suits is the soundtrack in the later half of the show. Now, I'll be honest, there are times when it's jarring. We'll talk about it in a bit. But overall, the soundtrack is not half bad. There's some great jokes that also accompany these great sounds. Yeah, so really nice. I really like this show. I really like the characters, some of them. And a lot of the episodes here are really good. But I had some issues, starting off with characters. Man, I did not care at all for fucking Cece. I did not, sounded gross. I did not care at all for Devin half the time. Frankie was mid, and honestly, Jen, she's Jen. She doesn't even fucking exist. She barely does anything for the show. She feels like a cameo whenever she's on screen, which is sad. But there are good characters. Like, I really like CJ, I really like Trey, I really like Alex, but then you have Devin, who's like, okay, he's fine. CC is terrible in a lot of regards, but gets kind of saved by the end of episode 4. But overall, she's not a great character. Even by the end of the season, I don't really like her. Trey, in the beginning of the season, is an asshole, but he works with that. You know, it makes sense because he gets his arc to becoming a better person, kind of like Lexi and Chucky. You know, that show's borderline unwatchable as it goes on. Yeah, some characters are just not very good. Not very good characters. And so are some adaptations, like Egg Monsters and Body Squeezers and Camp Nightmare in other regards. Sure, I like that they kept it vague and didn't make it so it was like, oh, well, that's a big-ass stretch. No, it was kept like, oh, Camp Nightmare. Okay. So that was a thing that happened. But it's still like, why? Why even include it? It feels almost pointless. And then Egg Monsters Invasion Body Squeezers are fucking pointless because they're in name only. So that is a little bit of a piss-off moment. But nonetheless, not terrible. But there's also some middling episodes that I wasn't a big fan of, as well as some aspects involving the soundtrack of this show, which could be very fucking terrible at times. I'm not gonna lie. Now, we're not talking about credits when I bring this up, but let me tell you, the soundtrack has some bad moments. Just very jarring, and what of the songs they use sometimes are pretty fucking bad. Like, just borderline horrible. But nonetheless, they are jarring, whether they're good or not. Some of them. Especially in the first half of the show. And now for the big bang of the issues, plot holes, and generally just lack of explanation for everything. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty, because I did an episode 8 review, and some episode 7, I believe. But what the fuck, man? Man! There's a lot of things that just don't make a lot of inherent sense in this show, and let alone by the end of it, you're kind of left there like, I'm kind of disappointed and dissatisfied with the lack of answers for everything. There's only things that are just kind of brushed off or brushed over or don't make a lot of sense, and just little details that add up over time, like, how the fuck are we here right now? Some things that happened shouldn't have happened. Let alone teleporting and fucking somehow magically finding addresses, you know what I'm talking about? There's some fucking just stupid things in this show that move the plot forward for the sake of, well, moving the plot forward. And that's all they serve for the show, is moving the plot forward. Which is not a amazing thing unless it's done well. Which sometimes it isn't, which is why I'm bringing it up. There's some plot holes, and I just wish there was more explanation to a lot of them. And, you know, just something behind them, or, you know, less noticeable at least, for fuck's sakes. But yeah. Overall, this show was a very enjoyable experience, and I had a lot of fun with the alien stuff, and generally the season was a good watch thanks to acting, CGI, in a lot of regards, even if it has a lot of plot holes, some bad dialogue, some jarring soundtrack moments, as well as a not-so-well thought-out story, even if it is overall good. So what would I rate this season, or show, whatever you want to call it, Goosebumps the Vanishing? What would I rate Goosebumps the Vanishing? 7.5 out of 10. It's aight. Better than season 1, once again. I hope you guys enjoyed this show review, I guess. And I'll see you guys in the next one, where we won't be talking about Goosebumps the Vanishing finally. And probably reviewing a book or something. See you guys in that said next one. Bye.